and let me just quickly see. Okay, so what I will do is I can, and let's see what's the proxy over here. So the proxy, if I go to the proxy setting, it says that the proxy is 127.0.0.1 colon 8080. So what we can do over here is that now what we do is that we click on the open browser once, and it will open the browser for us. So let's give it 1 second. So thing is that right now I am discussing about the cookie header and the referral header over here. But thing is that we will also see how that in a lab environment, how that cookie header and referral header will look like in the Bubster tool. Okay. So we'll look that shortly once that browser is up. Okay. So now let me just quickly even close this WhatsApp. Okay, so the Chromium browser is up now, and what we will do is we'll go to the Bubster. We'll do what we'll do is we will kind of go over here. Proxy. Just give me 1 second. I will turn off the intercept. Okay, and now if I go over here and let's search for Swiggle. So let it open up. I think everything is set. The intercept is off. So the Chromium browser will be able to make that request. Okay. So in the meantime, let's not waste time and kind of continue with our analysis. So the next header that I was kind of telling you is the cookie header. So let me just quickly search for an HTTP header example to kind of example, and let me click on that. Okay, images, and for here, let's okay, yeah. So now if you see, let's use it as an example. Now if you see that there's a cookie over here, okay, and even this malware also has a cookie, okay. So this here the malware is using that cookie for a different objective, okay. The correct objective of the cookie, what I have explained, is that it actually allows the Facebook.com, for example, any website, to not ask you the username password every time, rather than just using cookie. It validates like, are you an authenticated user? Okay, so all the get header most of the time will have a cookie header also in that. Okay, like the one that we are seeing right now. Okay, but when we are dealing with any kind of a malware case, it might be that the cookie header is used for something else. Okay, like for an example over here for the NotPetya malware, the cookie header is being used for a different purpose. It is actually telling to the malware writer that the system from where this packet is being generated, the malware has been able to kind of achieve an admin privilege. Okay, and let's say this is the ID of that system, for an example. Okay, so this cookie can be used for a different purpose by the malware, but the real objective of cookie is always to kind of authenticate you to the website that you are visiting without asking you the username password every time. Okay, so this is how the cookie header will look like whenever you are kind of analyzing any kind of a malware or any kind of a network traffic related to the HTTP headers. So this is how the cookie would look like. Okay, now the next thing is that, let me just quickly go to that to the Bubster tool. So this is opened up, and let me just do the target. And here we should see, let's say this one. Okay, now there are few other headers that I wanted to kind of showcase to you guys quickly. So the next thing is definitely, like, if you see, this is the google.com header that where we have searched for the Portswiggle website. So what we are seeing over here is that it has actually kind of tapped upon the query that I searched on the Google. So I searched for ports figure keyword, and it is telling me that, okay, Q equal to ports figure, and the host is google.com. So if you see any kind of header like this, you can quickly figure out that the host is google.com, and the person was actually searching for this keyword. The keyword was portsfigure.net. And the thing is that now how this thing will be helpful for you for an incident. So let's say you are kind of handling an incident where the person has done some kind of policy violation, for example. Let's say they are searching for some websites which they are not allowed to search for. Okay, or let's say I can kind of discuss one incident where this header, what I am kind of showcasing right now over here, was kind of helpful to me. Okay, so the thing was that there was a employee who had actually dropped his paper, and he was about to he was about to resign the next day, and he was little bit kind of, what do you say, he was little bit like angry with the company that he was working for. Okay, that the company I was working where I was kind of handling security. And what he did was that he was actually a database admin. Okay, and what he actually did was that that person actually deleted the whole database before kind of leaving the company. Okay, and our task was to kind of figure out who was that user who deleted the whole database of the production, and the whole that organization was actually was not able to do the work for, let's say, 1 week, because the whole database was actually deleted. There was nothing to kind of there was no database to kind of handle the customer request, and there was a huge loss to the company. Okay, and our objective was actually in that incident was to figure out who was that employee who has deleted that database. Okay, so that's where actually this header actually came into a very, very useful thing for us. Okay, the thing is that we had the logs of all the websites that were visited by the users. Okay, in a scene tool, and what we figured out is, what we did was that we actually first looked at the google.com URL. Okay, google.com URL, like all the searches that were done on google.com. And over there, I remember one of the so that database name was something like that was a specific, what I mean to say, that was a specific database. I remember that database name, something like Aurora, AURORA, something like that. And one of the person was actually searching just few minutes back, when the database was deleted on the Google, how to delete that database. He was searching especially for that thing on the Google website, how to delete that specific website, or how to delete that specific database. So that thing was actually captured by the GET request that went out to the google.com. And that's where we were able to know that who was that person in that hundreds of employees, who was that person who actually was the potential guy who actually deleted that database. And that search actually happened just before the database was deleted. It didn't happen after the database was deleted. It happened just before the database was deleted. So we were pretty sure that this is the person who was trying to understand how to delete the database. And once he got to know, then he went forward and kind of deleted the database of the company. Okay, so that's where again kind of this header will be kind of very, very useful for you guys. Okay, so if you see that this actually captures the keyword that I searched on the google.com. Okay, and the other thing that I actually kind of discussed about was the cookie header. So here we see that there are certain cookies over here. These are the cookies that was sent from my browser to the Google web server. Okay, and it has different field, like it has a field like pending, then it has a field like associates.
Sorry, sorry to interrupt you. So I have a question here. So when we're investigating such type of like incident, so do we need to go to the proxy logs, like, because they'll be mostly capturing that HTTP traffic? Or
Yes. So there are multiple avenues. Again, there are like multiple avenues from where you can get those kind of logs. One is definitely the proxy logs, because the proxy log will be kind of it will be, because this traffic is like, what you say, it's the HTTPS website. Okay, so to understand, so to get those things, so if there is no proxy in between, you won't be able to get these terms in a decrypted format. Okay, it will be